to the Classy Ring Attire podcast. I'm Joel.
I'm Chris.
It's time to get classy.
Alrighty.
So,
So,
money.
in
The
bank.
rats. It's still my turn to talk. Yeah, Money in the Bank happened.
It did.
You okay with that?
I really liked it,
Yeah.
It was, it's becoming one of the more dependable pay-per-views of the year.
Yeah.
By, up and down, not just the Money in the Bank ladder matches, just throughout the entire card
It
mostly.
was filled with stuff I cared for, so,
Except for, 2 matches, which, that's not bad odds for them.
We did have a lot of, I was like, oh, I forgot that match was booked. And that match. Don't we only have 2 matches left? Why is there 2 matches and 3 hours left?
Yeah.
So, but, you want to just jump in?
Let us jump in, and we start off with the kickoff match.
Yes.
Which, it felt like we should have paid for this match. Really solid match. Just all four people involved in this match really pulled out a really good championship match. Might be one of the better tag team matches that I've seen in recent memory.
It honestly felt like, and I probably give unfair credit to the Shield over the Usos because I like them better. But to try and be fair, it really felt like the guys working in this match, all 4 of them, felt like you put me on pre-show.
We're gonna make you pay.
Yeah. This is what we do on pre-show. Imagine us on the actual card. So
right, which that might be by design. That's somebody probably figured that if we put these guys on the kickoff show, they'll probably get just pissed enough that they'll, work extra hard to prove everyone else that they should be on the main card.
yeah. So,
but that would be giving them too much credit. I think they just put them on the kickoff just to put them on the kickoff.
Yeah. I would like this to be the WWE investing in the pre-show because I've said,
That's what I want to believe. Yes, that they're really investing in it, especially whenever they bring in this Yahoo partnership, full on.
Right.
So yeah, I'm all for it. I love the match. The Tower of Doom was impressive.
I think I don't have any research or actual memory of other ones to back it up, but I would say best pre-show match ever.
That's pretty. That's the bar was
no, the bar was pretty low.
Yeah.
The other one that would be maybe was the WrestleMania one, which was Miz and Wade Barrett. Which
Cesaro. Whenever Cesaro first won the U.S. Championship,
was that on a pre-show?
Yeah, and it was a pretty good match.
Okay.
That was before we were really big on him, but
yeah. Again, it's something I didn't even.
But I don't remember feeling like this. I did about this match.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, and on to
the actual show. We have the
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank Uprising Fluke winners Money in the Bank match. Damian Sandow, Wade Barrett, Cody Rhodes, Dean Ambrose, Fandango, Jack Swagger, and Antonio Cesaro.
So this is a match that this is pretty much more or less the first match my girlfriend ever saw.
From beginning to end, because you guys showed up halfway through the kickoff.
Yeah, but this is the one that she watched, and so this is the one she had a review of.
Not a bad way to start.
I know, right?
If she had to start on a regular one-on-one match on Raw, probably completely different view on wrestling, but that's kind of spoiled.
Yeah.
She got kind of spoiled on that one.
It's a thing where and I think we've talked about it before. It's how do you introduce somebody, especially someone that would be a significant other, where and
you're trying to introduce them into a very big part of your life.
So it's something where I don't totally need you to love it on the level that I do, but understand why.
Yeah,
and, you know, or maybe just
and appreciate why I appreciate it.
Yeah, don't hate it. So I have all
if
these.
Only that worked all the time.
I know, right? Pat on shoulder.
Thank you, Joel.
Yeah.
So what was her reaction?
Okay.
That's what I'm curious to.
Yeah, well, again, I was very worried about this. Like, I had the Undertaker Mankind Hell in a Cell match line. I was going to start with that. I was going to,
And this was kind of like a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were coming over. I had no idea that she was joining you.
No, it was really spur of the moment. So, I had Wrestling with Shadows lined up on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix anymore.
Is that on Netflix? Mm-mm. See, this is ruining everything.
Joel, so, I have it on my hard drive. You're good.
So, basically, my her review of this, amusing.
Yes.
Which I'll take. Yes. Done.
There's many other reactions that are far worse.
Yes.
So amusing, we'll take it.
Amusing, not as bad as she thought. So, I'm basically...
That's an end.
Yeah. Tappity-tap dancing on the world.
Okay.
So, she would like to say that she is really struggling on getting over the suspension of disbelief on how long it takes people to climb ladders.
It's something that we as wrestling fans don't really think about just because we're so used to it. We've seen all these ladder matches where they do the exact same thing. But yeah, coming from someone that has an outsider's point of view,
those guys climb ladders so slow,
and they struggle so much with the clamp, the clamp or whatever.
And kind of a fair point that she made is the other people who are the people that are supposed to stop them are lying outside the ring looking up how long does it take to stand up and go in the ring? It's what is the cue that it's time to stand up and stop that person? Right. I don't know, maybe it could go faster than it should.
It could.
It's something that got under my skin when I watched ladder matches at the beginning, and
I've kind of something you've grown
used to. But right on, I was like, I don't know. But her other point is, if the point of the match is to have a ladder in the ring to reach something, stop throwing ladders out of the ring.
Yeah, that one still kind of gets me every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they're using a ladder to set up some other spot, but they're trying to make it look natural that ladder just happened to end up there. They do that better sometimes than others, but when, they make weird, contraptions out of ladders connected to each other.
Ladder Legos.
Usually they did a lot more with Shelton Benjamin on the card.
Yeah.
But that really seems... it's a little bit more painful to watch. Not quite as bad as, Bully Ray setups. But it's up there. So I understand that point. Yeah.
So no,
that's a very fair point.
I can't argue those things.
No, not at all.
Just get used to it or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but amusing and not as bad as I thought.
Very good. Very good. I will say this as just a point of advice, being in the situation before myself. I found that any use of CM Punk helps draw in from a storyline perspective. So just throwing that out there. And I know it was late and you guys had to go and all that stuff. So I know she didn't get to see CM Punk.
Yeah.
But just from here on out, just it helped. At least in my case, it helped a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's the other thing is obviously when What Should I Show, the first thought was the CM Punk all the whole Summer of Punk thing, a highlight.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of I don't know how much of that is inside baseball kind of things, if it's if it translates well enough.
As long as you explain it well, I found out that it really isn't.
Yeah.
Even whenever you try to talk about the Montreal Screwjob, a lot of it is inside baseball, but it's interesting inside baseball. And I think, absolute same case with Punk in 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a match itself, going on.
As a match itself, it was good. I enjoyed it. It seemed like everyone had their moment. Except for Jack Swagger. I can't remember what he did in this match.
He was part of the Russian circus.
Yeah, but not the important part.
No, he was not. That's what he is. He's the base of the Russian circus.
He's the bottom.
Yes. But clearly, there are two men that came out of this match as victors. Because Sandow as the technical victor, rocking that briefcase.
And Cody Rhodes, easily the MVP of the
Cody
match.
Rhodes was a gorgeous human being.
Oh, yeah. And even what makes this even more wonderful and beautiful is that Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow both have a purpose.
Yeah.
On WWE television. And I love that. And that's something that they've been treading water ever since Cody Rhodes or Rhodes Scholars just kind of went nowhere.
Broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together.
Right, and now we see why they were, treading water.
It
makes sense now.
It really felt like, do you remember when you would have to do, like, it was a writing assignment, like 5th, 6th grade English, where, like, you would write a paragraph and then hand it to somebody and they would write a paragraph and hand it back. It felt like they were doing that in the writer's room. And they broke up, and then they got back together, and then they broke up.
But then they got back together because, this will happen at Money in the Bank.
So, huzzah to them.
Yes.
Well deserved.
Very, very surprised that they put the briefcase on Sandow. Definitely not something we saw coming
not
at
a
all.
prediction at all, but I'll take it.
Well, absolutely.
Well done.
So, moving along, we have Curtis Axel and The Miz facing off in another Intercontinental Championship match. I have one question. How much longer is it going to take for them to establish some sort of finishing move for Curtis Axel?
I have another question.
Okay.
The Miz is supposed to be trying to get cheers, and he gets Paul Heyman kicked out of Philadelphia?
True.
What?
True.
How is that supposed to get you cheers?
True. I have no explanation. I have no explanation at all what Miz is doing anymore. And I've said this, I said it on Twitter, I'm saying it in my column this week. There was a moment on SmackDown this past week, yes, I watched SmackDown, where Miz actually looked pretty good in the ring. It was him and Ryback. They were having a ring match. It's
been 4 months. He's starting to get it down. That's what I said.
And he was good. And I was like, all right, well, it's going to carry over in this Intercontinental belt. No, not so much. He's still doing the crab walk while he's doing the figure four, and that bugs the crap out of me, because that completely negates anything that you're trying to accomplish in the figure four from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about the technical standpoint, and that's coming from me. Like,
the thing is, with we talked about treading water with the other guys. Everybody in this match, save for Paul Heyman now, but everybody in this match is treading water.
Yes.
And I feel like with Paul Heyman clearly about to be a central figure in the story of the summer. Because I will accept this as my summer story.
Yes,
like, if I don't get another magical thing, I accept
this
Punk Heyman thing as my central summer story. Curtis Axel is going to either get totally left behind,
or he's going to be some sort of pawn in
or he's going to be uncomfortably wedged into this story.
Right.
Because there is, 8-year history between Heyman and Punk, with maybe, 10-year history between Punk and Lesnar? I'm putting Lesnar at 2002,
well,
2003.
The collective history between three of them, yes.
Yeah.
It's about 10 years.
So, I don't know if Curtis Axel will feel,
kind of like the odd man out, just, hi guys, I'm here too.
And if he gets smushed in, is the Miz gonna get smushed in? I don't want them in my, beautiful summer storyline soup with this weird,
I know, but they like to incorporate as many people as they can.
Somebody going, this is my secret ingredient.
Right, and you're like, okay, you're putting your rubber tire shavings into the soup.
Yeah.
Stop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood, and I agree. Let's just keep the central three characters involved. I can see how they're going to have Curtis Axel kind of play a role, but as long as we keep that a minimal role, a very supporting role.
I get that he's the physical guy when you can't get Brock Lesnar on Weekly Raw. That's totally fine. I mean, I don't think... Well, I was going to say, I don't think you want Punk doing too heavy of action on Raw right now either, but apparently not. True. Apparently it's totally fine to just throw that man around.
Oh, he's got staples in his head. Who cares? Put him in. Oh, the only other person that has more staples in his head? RVD? Let's put him in a full match with Chris Jericho and reopen him.
Whatever. No big.
It happens, right, guys?
I would like RVD in that match as well. In that feud as well.
You have him up somewhere.
But
and obviously, he's going to be probably a guy that comes to Punk's aid whenever he needs it, whenever Axel and
I'd rather put him on the other side.
Oh, you're like everyone against...
I like Punk against the world.
Yeah, and because we just rewatched the segment from Raw before we were recording, and I was listening to Punk's like very.
I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna get your family and your friends. And your
I was like, somebody watched Man on Fire before this Raw, and I love it because I love that movie.
Yeah, no,
I'm all for revenge movies. I love it.
I was gonna go Taken, but rock on.
It's cool. It's the way he delivered that speech. It was more closely to Man on Fire.
Fair enough.
It's like everyone who profited, everyone, like all those steps. I was like, is he reading the script right now? I mean, I love it,
but you know, I like the Paul Heyman in the like boss chair.
Yeah.
The final boss of this journey that Punk has to go on.
Does he have a furry kitten?
I don't know what this furry is. I don't know.
He's sitting in the boss chair with the sinister cat that he's petting?
Yeah, sure, why not? It's Kill Bill.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more of...
No, it's Kill Paul.
Okay. That fits, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so many good revenge movies.
I know. This is exactly...
We need to have a revenge movie marathon on our movie podcast that still haven't seen the light of day.
Absolutely. We'll get to it.
Yeah, one day.
Alright, carrying on. Divas?
Divas Championship match, AJ versus Caitlyn. Caitlyn joined by Layla again, because
why not? I love it.
I mean, I'm assuming they're thinking Layla is Caitlyn's Big E.
Sure. Whatever. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so down with this. Like, here's the thing. When they announced Total Divas...
Yes.
And especially when they announced the divas that would be on Total Divas.
Yeah, who they would be featuring.
Except for Natalya. I was like, oh, they're going to have so much WWE screen time. Yeah. I don't care for this. But seemingly coincidentally, like, it shouldn't be a coincidence, because if you have a diva show that you're trying to promote, you should really start getting quality diva stuff.
Divas, yeah.
Except you have two totally different divas that are totally carrying this division right now.
And they're not on the show.
But
on the Diva show.
Yeah. But whatever. Because...
I love the fact that they're featuring divas who are usually the ones that aren't wrestling.
Yeah.
Predominantly, yeah.
The arm candy ones?
Yep.
Or the dancers.
And Natalya.
Who got smushed into arm candy for golly.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Natalya.
A wrestler who should be, performing and in the ring. But she's not.
But I'm just like...
we're going to end up watching that show, aren't we?
Yes.
Is it... How less of a man does it make me to really want to see her wedding with Tyson Kidd?
I don't know, I'm going to be doing push-ups the whole time. It'll offset it. I'm just like, testosterone in this room now!
See, that's a good idea.
But you want to do push-ups?
I'll just eat ice cream.
Oh yeah, let's eat ice cream while we watch Total Divas on the E! channel. No way that can be problematic and construed wrong.
I'm a man's man.
You need somebody to break up with you before that just to justify all of that.
What is it, 2 weeks? Yeah, there's time.
Anyway, my point is, because my expectations have so been continuously beaten down in the Divas division,
right.
I'm continually totally enthralled with this storyline. Well done, A+,
Absolutely.
Go for it.
Yeah.
A good match with a beautiful submission tap out.
Yeah, it was
clean
really
win. And Big E was on the TV, wearing a beautiful brand new window curtain. I loved it.
I love those shirts.
I know, right?
That would be the only reason why that would be the only motivation I would ever have to ever get buff.
Was to wear Big E shirts.
To wear Big E shirts. Because they would pull off... I could pull off that, being a pale, freckly guy.
No, I take it. Next up, we have Ryback and Chris Jericho. Of course, Chris Jericho bites it.
Of course.
Because Chris Jericho can't win a match anymore.
No, I mean, he's just...
It's super cool of the dude to be willing to put young guys over.
Yeah.
And, I am... there's a saying for this. I'm, doing something on both ends, or I can't be satisfied or something because I'm about to complain about this. When the likes of, you know...
I was thinking burning the candle on both ends, but that doesn't make sense.
That's working hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's constant complaints about John Cena and Triple H and all these guys refusing to put over younger talent.
And then you got...
And Chris Jericho doing all that.
On the flip side.
Balance, guys. There's a happy medium to these things.
Right.
Because
rather than having Cena and Triple H and guys like that win all the time, and then having guys like Chris Jericho just do nothing but lose. Yeah.
And Chris Jericho looks good losing. Like, I get that. But he's... I know he's going to lose.
Yeah.
There's, you know... There's beyond lack of investment, because I know he's there to put over guys. And so I want Jericho to have a genuine storyline where he's invested in something. He does Chris Jericho stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that we're probably coming up on the end of this current Chris Jericho run, because he needs to play his little instrument and sing his little songs.
I hate the band. Yes.
But, you know... they're fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean...
but that's the thing. Is
wait. Did you say Fozzy is fine?
Sure, why not?
Have you listened to any of their music?
Once or twice.
It's so awful.
I'm sorry, I have no real strong opinion on Fozzy. I like Chris Jericho.
I hate it when you're indifferent. I'd rather you hate something.
Whatever. Carry on.
So, we have...
That's my review of this one. Come on, guys, balance. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes.
And also, it just... I don't know. Seeing how Ryback's... Like, his entire run this past year... It just seems weird for him to win a match by roll-up.
Fair enough.
You know?
I am undestructible monster!
A quick backdoor win. Yeah.
So...
It's whatever. We have the World Heavyweight Championship match. Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler. Good match.
Ziggler's a beautiful man.
Yeah, and give Del Rio, some credit. Like, the both of them have incredible chemistry.
Del Rio has never had a match with anybody as good as the matches he's having with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see these guys fight again.
Yeah. Del Rio seems to find himself in these really long feuds, and usually we're, clawing our eyes out waiting for this to end. This time, it works very well. These two mesh just incredibly well.
Like, it's not been very long.
No.
And so I'm reserving my right to totally do a 180 on my position right now. But I would be totally okay with a Greatest Rivalries DVD on these guys someday. With there being enough footage, with there being enough storylines, these guys returning to each other to be their main rivals.
Right. Although I do believe their feud is pretty much done at this point, considering what happened on Raw.
Yeah.
Where it's going forward with that. So, Ziggler has other things on his mind now. But the match itself was good. Mm-hmm. It was really enjoyable. Then we got the swerve at the end with AJ coming out and accidentally, disqualifying Ziggler.
Yeah.
Which led to their breakup the next night. And a ton of fan fiction writers cried themselves to sleep.
Does Big E love AJ?
I'm assuming they're going to go that route eventually.
I mean, it's the easy way to go. I would love for it to not be. Well,
yeah, because that's too easy with AJ's character to have her go ahead and fall in love with the next guy that's closest to her.
Yeah. So,
I like Big E to be, the awkward friend zone guy.
I could totally take him as a friend zone guy. Honestly, I'd like him to really have a genuine crush on Caitlyn. And be, very emotional that he betrayed Caitlyn.
Yeah, I'm hanging on to that as well as you. We kind of wanted it to
God, it was so entertaining when he came out. And that beautiful, beautiful silk curtain. I loved it. Best thing on television.
Oh, dear Lord, that shirt would keep both of us warm for an entire winter.
Together.
Not an Earth winter, like a Westeros winter. From Game of Thrones. Like a very long winter.
7 years.
7 years long winter. Yep.
Alright, next up we have John Cena defeating Mark Henry by submission.
The worst way to freaking lose to Cena.
Because of Cena's submission move.
Yep. If it was any other submission move, I would probably be a little bit more okay with this.
Is this your people's elbow?
It might be. It might be, because I'm sorry, Oh, I give up, my cheeks are being pushed together too hard. No! No! I'm making a face and joke by pushing my cheeks together. It's ultimate torture.
I mean,
how do you feel when your friends are being tortured?
The thing for me is, like, because there's so much of The Rock that I still love unconditionally and will always return to and forgive The Rock for a lot because he's The Rock. And so that makes the people's elbow hurt all that much worse.
I don't know.
So I don't know
pretty much all lost for me.
I don't know if you love Cena that much.
No. No.
So.
No, right now, I actually, for once in my life, I like Rock a lot more as an actor.
Yeah.
Than a wrestler.
So you don't want Rock at
this last
WrestleMania 30?
I'm accepting it just because I know it's probably going to happen. I'm not thrilled about it.
I'm torn about it.
This last run's really, really ruined. Like it ruined him a lot for me.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. Honestly, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But I understand that. Like, I'm not dogging you for it. Like, I completely understand that.
It's The Rock. I mean, like...
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I can't deny that. It is The Rock. He brings in a ton of money. He brings in a lot of viewers that usually wouldn't be watching the product anymore because, if he wasn't there. So, fine. I completely understand it. But me, personally, I've got nothing for him.
No, I mean... There's a lot of complaints about The Rock. Very much justified. I have leveled many a complaint against The Rock and felt very passionate about.
Right.
At the end of the day,
it's
The Rock. I love The Rock. I love Dwayne Johnson. He entertains me, and I'm happy that he's on my TV.
But who I don't have any complaints about?
That people's elbow. Who?
Mark Henry. Yeah, you heard me right, Blair. I've got nothing to complain about with Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. I will.
Like, the match was pretty much what we were expecting it to be.
Yeah.
So I mean. I'm not saying it was great or, it surpassed all expectation. It was pretty much right on par with what we were expecting. Because everything was in the build-up.
Yeah.
I
mean...
I don't know. Part of me would have wanted a little bit more out of Mark Henry, just in case this was his last match, which we don't know if that's the case or not. But.
Right. I have a lot of emotions about this match.
A lot of emotions?
Like, a lot of back and forth feeling about how I feel about this match. Mm-hmm. And it's more detail in the article I wrote this week. But part of me wanted it to be, a Summer of Punk thing where the build-up, the match was worth the build-up.
Yeah.
And when the build-up is that good, the match is so rarely worth it.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of, like... Taking it from Cena, it's at Money in the Bank. Stars are realigning. This is it. This is the way that the chips need to fall for that kind of match to happen. And it didn't. It was a fine match. I'm glad it didn't end the show.
Yeah, we would have a different feeling about the show overall.
I think so. I think so. But part of it, what softens the blow a lot? That Daniel Bryan isn't the new number one contender.
Oh, that makes everything better.
I know, right?
Oh,
that is
Lord.
That is the hot bath after the long day of manual labor.
Credit to WWE, they could have not been in a better venue to announce that.
Yeah.
Because, holy crap, Brooklyn came unglued.
Yep. No, that was...
As did I. Because we all knew it was coming.
I was a little scared.
You were a little scared?
I was a little scared.
I thought it was just the fact that they didn't have Daniel Bryan on stage, or visible on stage, I should say. And him going down the line, and every time the crowd would do the yes chants, the cameras would actually cut to, the crowd. If they were trying to go different directions, they would have completely ignored him.
And I don't know if this is supposed to, be a swerve, or I don't know exactly, but it got me if it was. When he acknowledged the chants, and he's like, I know, I respect the beer too, but... And I was like, not but, no! Don't say something!
Fair enough. Yeah, I think he was just trying to keep the suspension.
No, it worked for me. I'll be totally honest. Like,
I love that. You know, he said that, and the only thing you see is Daniel Bryan's little fist.
Yeah.
You know, behind everyone.
So, anyway, we move on to our mainest of events.
The Money in the Bank All-Star Spectacular Hyperbole Money in the Bank match. Yep. And, good reason.
Yeah.
We got Randy Orton, Rob Van Dam, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, and Christian. Kane was unable to compete, and they didn't fill his position with anyone. So, again, one of those things where everyone really had their big moment to shine. A lot of injuries, a lot of blood.
Yeah. People got hurt.
People got hurt. CM Punk got the 13 stitches. I think Rob Van Dam got 14 or 15. Rob Van Dam got hurt.
First night back.
I know.
But I mean, whatever. Second night back, he has a full-on match.
I believe Randy Orton got a few boo-boos. I think Daniel Bryan came out pretty clean by and large.
Fair enough. Like
Christian chipped a tooth. And I know we get on this guy a lot, but Sheamus took some pretty bad bumps and probably got hurt most of all. Like, I've seen the Twitter photos of his thigh, and it's basically twice the size it should be.
The hate train for Sheamus continues, but I will gladly admit.
Well, first of all, okay,
the guy takes a bump.
First of all, he takes a bump. I believe that injury, if I'm not mistaken, came from him apparently being unable to fall off a ladder correctly.
Yeah.
Because I think he hung on to the title whenever someone was pushing the ladder out of the way a little bit too long, and then he just kind of fell backwards and just landed straight, like his side, like right on the leg of the ladder, and I thought he was just done at that point.
Yeah.
And then he took the bump at the end that really did him in. And it was the ladder that was the bridge between the ring and the announce table.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to the CM Punk stuff in a second, but
right.
Really, what do you think about Orton being the victor? Orton now having that title shot.
It makes sense. Like he was pretty much what we had predicted he was going to win.
We predicted him or Daniel Bryan,
right? And that's just the way things were heading towards. Like,
yeah,
it was just all the arrows pointed to either of them, and it just knowing how everyone backstage feels about Randy Orton,
yeah,
and him still kind of the comeback and everything, it made sense.
My other question though is, last year, Cena broke the fail. He was the first to fail a cash in.
I thought you were talking about he was the first one to break the handle.
No, he did break his handle though.
Yes.
So do you think that will kind of, if they were hesitating to have that happen, is it possible that it's more likely to happen now with these two briefcases and going forward from here?
You're saying it might be more likely that they would be willing to have
somebody lose.
I don't know. I think they still want to keep that
as an almost guarantee.
Right. Like
title.
they really do like that tagline.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to try to keep that as long as they can, as long as it serves the point of whatever storyline they're going for now.
Right.
If it fits the storyline for the guy to lose and they build something from that, then fine. But yeah, I just really think they want to keep that going, the mystique about being Mr. Money in the Bank.
And basically getting to call your moment of when you want to be champion.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, we have two champions.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Sandow is not going to cash in anytime soon.
Right, and that's
Cody.
what I was going to ask you. Because from what since they've started the Money in the Bank pay-per-view back in 2010, they have two different Money in the Bank winners every single time, and history basically shows that they really don't like having two guys holding the briefcase at the same time for very long.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming you're believing Randy Orton's going to be the first one to cash in relatively soon.
What I would have liked to happen, I thought it would have been cool, and it occurred to me as it was happening, when he comes out and says, he's like, John, I'm not gonna say when I fight you because that's dumb and you were dumb last year for doing that and paid the price. But I will say, watch your back because I'm getting you anything expected. I would have liked him to say, before I'm cashing in before SummerSlam. You won't know when, but I'm cashing in before SummerSlam. Or before, arbitrary date in the future. So there is this, kind of countdown clock. There is this much smaller window than a year.
Yeah.
Because a year is a long time. But if you, sometime in the next month.
The biggest swerve is he would do it the day after that date. It's like, oh yeah, by this pay-per-view, and then he just does it on that Raw right after.
Yeah. He didn't say that, but the reason we picked Randy Orton was because he was pseudo-feuding with Daniel Bryan. There's a very good chance Daniel Bryan will be champion sooner than later.
How? I'm trying to piece in my mind already how they're going to have Daniel Bryan beat Cena. I don't know. Unless they're completely willing to put Daniel Bryan over.
Give him that clean win.
But I'm not sure about that. They weren't even willing to give that to CM Punk.
I know.
And they're much higher on him than they tend to.
Okay, but were they higher on him back then than they are on Daniel Bryan now?
I don't know.
And
yeah, that's because they're definitely playing up the storyline because, Triple H was making, he was talking to Brad Maddox in his office. He'd be like, yeah, we know who Cena's going to pick. Mm-hmm. We know Vince isn't going to like that because Vince isn't necessarily too high on him, setting that all up.
Yeah.
So, they might have gotten higher up on him lately. Which, we were starting to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're that high up on him.
I don't know. Whatever it is, then the easy thing is Night of Champions will have a triple threat match.
Right, yeah.
Between the three guys. Because Randy Orton will cash in quickly, and then both John Cena and Daniel Bryan will have rematch clauses.
Yes.
There's also, you could easily do some sort of, kerfuffle where he cashes in, on the 2 count somehow. It's 1, 2, cash in, and so, they're not sure which one he's supposed to pin. You gotta do something new with the briefcase.
Right.
And I'm just spitballing trying to think of, oh, that's never happened before. And somehow there's a question as to, it's in confusion as to who Randy Orton cashed in on. Mm-hmm. He cashed in on a kick out and then, pinned the wrong guy, and so there's argument over who the rightful champion is. Blah-diddy-blah-diddy-blah-diddy-blah-diddy-blah. Point is that all three of these guys seem to be in the title scene right now. Not going anywhere.
Right.
Especially if, I think I predicted Cena to be going for Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Which you did too, and a lot of people did. So Cena's kind of got these next 6 months to fill. So he either needs a new heel to face, which he doesn't really have.
No. Especially because we have all these new faces.
We have a bunch of new faces. Punk is occupied. And my dream feud right now has Punk fighting 4 heels.
True.
So, I could see it happening.
Yeah, and have this kind of be a drawn-out thing.
Yeah. Or John Cena will defeat and dismantle the Shield.
Yeah, it's getting around that. I would really want someone else to do it, or some other factor be the reason why they split up. But, they've been together for a long time.
They're going on a year?
Almost a year. It'll be a year, I think, go to the Survivor Series.
Yeah. A year Survivor Series. So.
Yeah. We've seen worse way to have John Cena kill time.
Yeah. Embrace the hate. Ugh.
I love Kane, but that was horrible.
I did not love Kane at that moment.
Dude.
I did not, no. So, and that's Money in the Bank. And that's most of Raw. We did not...
we didn't talk about the CM Punk thing.
Right. So, CM Punk is feuding with Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Long story short. this is the storyline he came back for.
Yeah.
Like, when he left after WrestleMania,
and yeah, like, you know, even that match against
next.
Chris Jericho, there was, like, little seeds planted for this, that, yeah, this is absolutely what he came back for.
And this is, you know, and we are kind of like, what is left for Punk? He's never going to top the title reign that he had. So it'd be nice to have him champion again, but, you know, he has that. He has the longest title reign. He's never
going to have to do something else that happens to lead him to the championship or something like that, yeah.
He had his match against... He had a title match at WrestleMania. He had a match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He hasn't closed WrestleMania.
Which is something that we all know that's definitely something on his to-do list.
Yeah, and he's not closing WrestleMania 30, just because there's going to be so many big names. I love him. He's not closing it. He's not closing WrestleMania 30.
Right. Unless they were able to pull out him and Stone Cold. That they could turn that.
I still don't think that would close WrestleMania 30. I think Cena versus Undertaker or Brock versus Rock would close it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, and those are the three clearly going to happen matches that have been like spitballed around.
Right.
And so, but I do think he has a very good shot of closing WrestleMania 31.
All right. Do you think he'll be around long enough for that?
I don't know.
Because a lot of people, you know, aren't so sure about that.
That is 2015. He has said he is retiring in 2015.
Right.
He has also said, though, he's sticking around when he's got stuff to stick around for.
Right, yeah.
You know, and that was kind of the thing.
And that's what I kind of got away from that statement. It's like, yeah, I am aiming for 2015, you know, but if there's something for me to do that's compelling and I enjoy doing it, then fine, I'll stick around for that.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, which could mean leaving earlier or leaving later.
Right, yeah.
So, but this is, you know, this is clearly the storyline. It's like, we have not done this. It is, you know, these two guys have a huge history. It is time for them to feud with one another. It is time for them to talk to each other on microphones.
Oh, dear God, did they ever?
So,
I love it.
I love it. And so, obviously, yeah, Brock Lesnar's going to be the heavy here. Totally cool with that. That's his job.
Yeah, oh, yeah, dear Lord. If he ever had a job, it would be that.
That match better steal SummerSlam, you guys.
If it doesn't close, then yeah.
After Brock Lesnar broke SummerSlam last year.
This would be a good consolation.
Yes.
This would be a great consolation.
I am accepting your apology in forms of fantastic SummerSlam matches this year.
You know what I like so far?
What?
They haven't announced a concert. This is early.
I know, it's like, don't jinx that.
But so far, no Kevin Rudolph.
No concert.
But instead, we are getting this weird promo video of, like, old pictures of wrestlers.
Kids and now, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make... Like, it has very, like, what was it, WrestleMania 23, the theme was all grown up.
Yeah.
And then it opened with, like, a weird promo of, like, kids dressed up as, you know, superstars. Like, the kid Undertaker was really just silly.
I mean, I thought we were supposed to get, like, really attractive wrestlers walking slow motion out of the water with, like...
Well, yeah, there's
surfing and
I've
stuff.
seen that promo, too. It's something, of course, with the Bella Twins.
Of course, with the Bella Twins.
I forgot who else was in it. I kind of lost brain activity. I do that whenever the Bellas are on TV screen. My brain shuts off.
Thanks, Jerry Lawler. You're the Jerry Lawler of this podcast. Did you know that?
I wasn't speaking in that terms, like just the fact that...
That makes me the JBL of this podcast.
Or the Cole.
I'd take it. Cole's a delightful man that I'm totally enamored with.
I wasn't being all pervy Jerry about it. I'm saying, like, they're on the screen, my mind shuts off because I just don't have the energy to I hate it when they're on the screen. Let's put it that way. That's why my brain shuts off.
Whatever. My point is, CM Punk, this feud, I love it.
Yes.
It's going to be beautiful. Every week, CM Punk's going to have a microphone, Paul Heyman's going to have a microphone. They're going to talk to each other. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Can you imagine, just like 2.5 years ago, we were about to lose CM Punk. There was no Paul Heyman. There's no Brock Lesnar. There's no Rob Van Dam. And, like, they're just flooding back. It's beautiful, and I love it.
yeah, like I never would have guessed that we would be here.
I know, right?
At this point. Now, if you told me, oh yeah, Cena's going to be champion, I was like, yeah, of course.
Cena's going to be champion. I don't know.
But we'd be more okay with it. We're okay with it now, just because we've had all this other stuff to keep our attention.
I still feel like if you had told me 2 years ago that Cena was still champion, I'm like, the torch has not been passed. Pass that torch. It's been 2 years. Like, if you tell me right now that Cena will be champion in 2015,
I would believe it.
I'd be upset about that.
Oh yeah, I would be happy.
I mean, again, like,
but then again,
my dream stuff right now is Cena and Punk closing out WrestleMania 31.
That would be good
for the championship.
Yeah. If I were to tell you 2.5 years ago that we would have a SummerSlam championship match between John Cena and Daniel Bryan, and essentially a face versus face match where both of them are way, way over, you never would have believed that, would you?
Do you think that's the most unbelievable thing?
To be honest with you, yeah, because they'll go. Daniel Bryan just 2 years ago was just winning the Money in the Bank for the first time.
Yeah,
he was still very clean cut, gee golly good guy. That we loved him.
I was so I was so certain that Daniel Bryan would be champion and would be a main eventer.
I never would have at that 2.5 years ago. I never would have guessed WWE actually would have gone with him. Maybe a heavyweight championship, not WWE, and definitely not putting him up as a face against John Cena. If they wanted to turn him heel or something like that, and just made him the despicable heel that they turned him into at the end of 2011, then yeah. I would have kind of believed that, and then John Cena's going to completely squash him. Now we're talking about maybe Daniel Bryan is probably going to win against John Cena. Like, we never would have entertained that thought 2 years ago.
I think I would have. Honestly,
I would have hoped.
I don't want to be like, no, I saw that kind of time. But like, even after the Nexus stuff happened, like after he got fired after that like Nexus debut thing, I was like, oh, he'll be back. I
had a feeling for that.
It might take a while. He'll be back. It just, I felt very. Now, granted, I felt very certain that John Morrison would be WWE champion too at some point. Yes. So, like, I'm not having
comes with a grain of salt. Yes.
There's not a beautiful, unscathed track record here,
right?
But I always felt like it was a given that at some point Daniel Bryan would be a main event champion, mainstay in the championship.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree with you that we all knew that if Daniel Bryan was ever given the shot, then absolutely.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like I assumed he would get the shot.
Yeah, I was very pessimistic about 2.5 years ago because I was convinced WWE would never give him a shot.
I didn't think Punk would.
And see that's what kind of changed it all. Just the whole thing with Punk. You're like, okay, well, apparently anything's possible if you just freaking go for it. Then yeah.
I believe that Lesnar could come back someday because I was like, eventually he's gonna have to.
I had that feeling as well. Yeah.
Did not think Paul Heyman would come back though.
No.
That was a shocker.
Absolutely.
Did not think Rob Van Dam would ever come back.
I was with the 2 strikes. Yeah. Yeah, no. I would have thought Kurt Angle or Sting would have come to WWE before Rob Van Dam came back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe one of the Hardys. But that would be stretching it. Preferably Jeff, even though he's still not great.
I could believe like right now I could believe in the next 2 years the Hardys would be back.
I couldn't believe Jeff. I don't know about Matt sometimes. That might just be me hoping that Matt doesn't come back just to stay where he is. He seems to be doing good now. I'm okay with that.
You don't think they'd bring him back as the Hardy Boys?
Yeah, they would. I know they would.
No, that's what I'd do.
I don't. Otherwise, then Matt Hardy's not going to do anything.
I don't totally trust either one of them with a solo run.
No.
Like,
granted, Jeff is doing better. He's gotten cleaner, I think.
Jeff is doing better, but
I know Matt Hardy's was cleaned up, and
a lot of what Jeff is doing in TNA right now, like the cheers he's getting is because he's Jeff Hardy more than because what he's doing is good.
Right? Yeah.
I think if he came back to WWE, he'd have to do good stuff again.
Because that's
not that he's doing bad stuff now. He's doing perfectly fine wrestling.
Right. And I feel like that's why he was getting such a big reaction before he left WWE. Like, he was on a really good run for Jeff, and some of that had to do with the fact that he is Jeff Hardy, and the Hardy Boys and all that stuff. But he was so over before he left. Mm-hmm. It would be kind of hard to imagine that wouldn't carry over if he ever came back. I'm pretty sure a good bit of it would.
I mean, no, he that pop, if he came back like that opening,
it would be pretty huge.
That would explode. That'd be beautiful. Maybe, and
maybe that was shopped in cheers on SmackDown. But whatever.
No, totally fair. Like if Jeff Hardy comes back in 7-8 months and hits it with the fans and within a year is champion, that would not surprise me.
Right.
I would not say I never saw that coming, but at the same time, if he comes back, kind of flounders, then gets a Hardy Boys thing, they get a tag team run, and
that would also not surprise you.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if Jeff Hardy came back, got a third strike, got kicked out forever, that also would not surprise me.
Fair enough. I refuse to be surprised by Jeff Hardy. That is the moral of this story.
Pretty much, because we've seen everything from him. We've seen highs, we've seen super lows.
Yep. So,
I mean, the only memory I have of him in TNA is him coming out for that match against Sting completely zonked out of his mind.
Yeah.
And I don't watch a whole lot of TNA, and I only knew that because I heard people talking about it, and I looked up on YouTube. And I'm like, wow, he's super messed up. Mm-hmm. Now, I know he's fine. He's better now.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
And we hope he stays that way.
Oh, yeah. For as a man, for his own well-being, absolutely.
As decent human beings in this world, I genuinely hope all good things for him. But
yes.
I would not be surprised, unfortunately.
Don't really make us North Carolinas look very good.
Whatever happens, I mean, because I've seen so much from Jeff Hardy, and so much could happen.
Yeah.
And I do still believe that he could pull out some crazy career-defining stuff.
Yeah.
He still has the ability to have matches that will be on the DVD career retrospective. Yeah, all those have not been had yet, if he does right. So...
And this is if he comes back. There's no rumors suggesting that he might.
Yeah, no.
Those rumors come out like this around this time every year. We'll get the Sting rumors, and year round we just get Batista rumor after Batista rumor. Even though he says on Twitter so many times, like, guys, it's not going to happen.
Calm down.
Calm down. I'm doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Calm down. I'm kind of busy.
Yep.
So there's that.
Whatever. I'd like Batista to come back.
I would. Bring in, you could bring some Guardians of the Galaxy with him.
They should be a tag team.
Chris Pratt looks so cut right now.
I know.
You saw those pictures?
Yes. They have to comment on it in Parks and Rec. They talked about we have to, we won't make a big story about it, but we have to make a comment on how good Chris Pratt looks now.
Well, that one was because he got all buff buff-ish for Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what they're going to say this time because he doesn't even look like the same dude. Like, if he didn't have, that same, little scraggly beard in that picture, never would have guessed that was Chris Pratt. But now I can totally believe him and Batista being a tag team.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the Guardians of the Galaxy.
TNA would pull that stuff. Why can't WWE do that?
Do it, WWE. I would invest. Alright. Let's do Chris's stupid segment and then carry on.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Chris's stupid
That's right, it's time for the mail sack! Mail sack, why is there hair in this mail sack? Mail sack, let's all go inside. Mail sack, why is there hair in this mail sack? Mail sack, let's all go inside. So, the mail sack is so full today. It is bursting with questions and comments.
There's no good response to that, so just start with the first one.
Every response is good for that. And it's true. Alright, first one comes from Twitter. This comes from @Cubez. And he's responding to the Bray Wyatt segment. And basically, he's saying the him attacking R-Truth, this is exactly what we were looking for with Bray Wyatt. It was very creepy. And also, what's up?
So
I enjoyed the segment. We got to see a little bit more from Bray Wyatt himself.
Honestly, here's the thing. Like, when we were watching the segments, like, the night of the debut and, like, the week before, I was watching those, and we were just, like, asking each other, why, the person who has directed these segments, why do they not have a hard movie contract?
Yes.
And, because they're just that good. And I thought about it, I'm really like, no, genuinely. Why is there not a horror movie? Why is there not a Wyatt family movie? Why didn't they just make, like, they have a production studio. You make, like, a cheap little $2 million movie. You throw it out, you easily get your money back because...
It's $2 million.
These movies are clearly getting their money back because they keep making these WWE movies. And you do it, they do the whole movie in character. And you have a full-on back... People are paying to own the backstory. And then those characters genuinely show up on TV. You have the whole motivation in that 90-minute movie, and then they come out on the TV.
I like that idea, actually.
Why did that not happen?
Because that's smart.
I want that to happen, and I would pay money for a WWE movie.
Absolutely, because then we would understand a little bit more exactly what they're going for with the Wyatt family. And now apparently this is all about Kane now. At least that's what they're alluding to.
Yeah. Well, they were mad at Kane. They attacked R-Truth.
Yeah, and then then right before they demolished R-Truth for the final time, they, said, Kane, follow the buzzards.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
So.
But yeah, I really like that idea, actually.
Right?
Because they're so, that's what I love about the three guys in Wyatt family. They are so invested in their own characters. They're going all out, and I love it when people do that.
I mean, these are full, genuine characters.
Yes.
The
problem is we don't know what their backstory is, and we don't know what their purpose is right now.
Right.
So that's my only complaint. And again, I want to see more of Bray Wyatt in the ring.
Yeah.
Than the other guys, but that's just me. So I really like him in the ring. So there's that. So Neil asks us, in order to be a truly great wrestler, which is more important? Looking good in the ring or making your opponent look good in the ring? I feel it's got to be a good balance of both.
It definitely has to be a balance.
Right. But which is more important?
More important?
Probably looking good
I gotta say it's looking good, yeah.
Yeah. Because, ultimately, the wrestling business, you have to kind of look out for yourself. So at the end of the day, you're going to do what you can to make yourself look good, because you're not always going to be working with a wrestler that's going to work with you,
right,
or be able to pull off everything. So you might as well make yourself look good. Now, you see guys like Chris Jericho that can do both, and he's willing to put guys over all day.
Right.
So, it's got to be a good.
End of the day,
both.
If you don't look good in the ring, you're not going to make it.
Right. And
eventually you're going to stop making others look good. Because beating a guy that doesn't look good only will take you so far.
Yeah.
Then you're 3-B.
Yeah.
So, clearly, obviously, there has to be a balance. Totally crushing opponent after opponent makes you right back.
Yeah.
It makes you, so there's a balance that has to be struck, but if I have to choose on an either-or scale, looking good in the ring, because Ryback got to fight Chris Jericho on a pay-per-view, and 3-B did not.
True story. This comes from Jonah with Rob Van Dam and Chris Jericho's match on Monday Night Raw. With that being so good, what other opponents are you looking forward to seeing RVD take on?
Everybody.
True. That is not an incorrect statement. Obviously, the first one that pops up in mind would be him and Daniel Bryan. That would be a great match. And a match we never thought we would have gotten.
That would have been a bouncy match.
Very bouncy match.
I would like to put that match on pogo sticks.
Or trampoline?
Yes.
Okay.
Put it on a trampoline. Everybody has to be on a pogo stick at all times. Like they just tape pogo sticks to their feet.
I love it.
It's been an amazing match. Honestly, right now I'm dream booking sticking RVD in the Paul Heyman CM Punk thing.
Right.
Which means that I'm saying RVD versus CM Punk. But yeah, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
I did not expect to feel like as nostalgia power to see that frog splash on Monday Night Raw as I ended up doing. I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like,
it felt good.
It did.
And it's one of those things, like, again, we really didn't play up the RVD thing because, it's RVD. We've seen him on TNA, blah, blah, blah. It just seemed like he was in different gear.
I think
maybe it's just because he actually likes being there, because we heard how fed up he was with TNA, especially by the end of his run.
I think he was very irritated with TNA. He's appreciative of the fans, making such a loud noise for him. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, and I try really hard not to, but wrestlers that go from WWE to TNA look a little has-been-y.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to get that stigma off of you. And I think RVD did a great job at it. I think Kurt Angle, that effort. I think Jeff Hardy's doing great at that.
Yeah.
I mean, to get that, I can still bring it kind of thing. But, I don't know how many specific TNA fans there are. I think a lot of TNA fans are TNA WWE fans. So, as exciting as it is to see you come over to, even if that's their preferred brand, they're seeing you in a ring that was not performing for a crowd that you used to perform for. You're walking down a ramp that's a lot shorter than you used to walk down.
Yeah.
And it's, it's different, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a struggle. I think it probably felt really good for RVD to walk down a ramp that length to a crowd that size Sunday.
I bet. Oh, yeah. That'd feel good.
So.
And not walking that awkward elevated ramp.
Yep.
Yeah.
So. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, it was good to see him. It was good to see that he could still pull off all that stuff and wasn't nearly as botchy as some of his stuff that I've noticed on TNA. But again, that part of that has to go with, who he was working with at the time. So his match against Chris Jericho was really, really well done.
Yeah.
So Blair asks, with this Cody thing, is it going to work? He wants us to predict how that's going to happen.
I mean, I said yeah. We were pretty high on Cody last time he asked us about you. I think you were with me.
Yeah, I mean, we were still kind of iffy about him just because he hadn't really done anything in the past year. Now that he has actually something to do, I think we're going to see exactly what Cody can do, what we've seen him do in the past. I still think he's got a lot to bring to the table.
I mean, this is kind of his first face run.
Yeah.
Maybe, I can't think of another. He might have had one.
He first debuted as a face, and he turned whenever out of nowhere, he jumped ship from Bob Holly and joined Ted DiBiase before they joined Randy Orton.
Okay, yeah, when it was just the two of them as legacy. When it was
first just the two of them, yeah. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, so I think this is the run to push him to the top.
Oh yeah.
If he is destined to be a top tier worker, this is the run that will push him or get him stuck in R-Truth territory. Yeah,
definitely. It'll get him a lot closer than, treading water with Rhodes Scholars.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to work. I think he looked great on Sunday.
I agree.
I am more excited to see him come out now because of what I saw on Sunday.
Yeah.
And he's gonna fight Sandow, and that's pretty.
Yeah, it is very pretty.
I'm actually probably gonna watch SmackDown because hopefully Sandow will have a microphone and explain his reasonings for what he did in classic Sandow fashion.
Very true.
So
I'm okay with that. Blair had a follow-up question. He wanted to know, does the male set get tighter as it fills up?
I assumed it gets saggier.
No, it's so large. We've never reached that capacity point yet.
Okay.
So, I don't know. So far, it's, you'll notice it gets pretty full, but nothing to that extent where
So you're issuing a challenge to try and
fill it up?
The mail sack?
Absolutely. Each and every week. Let's see how much this thing can hold.
Alright.
Just keep it away from the Viper.
You can't do that. We discussed this.
And Jonah, in response to Blair's question, he wanted to know, does the mail sack ever partake in mailscaping? Obviously not, because every week we wonder why there's hair in it.
Yes, that one. That's the only response.
Thank you.
I have no additional... I have nothing to add.
No mailscaping tips?
For the rest of this podcast, I have nothing to add. Call me back when we're doing plugs. I'm done. I cannot.
Well, ring ring.
Oh, hello.
Mail sack's empty.
Alright. Oh, man. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Attire. We do oodles of fun. Do live tweeting of Raws, and then...
And occasional Q&As.
Yeah, tweets throughout the week.
I get bored on the weekends at work, so it happens.
So, yeah, definitely join us there. Lots of fun. Yep,
and if you have any questions, comments, hate mail, love mail, anything you want us to address here on the show, you can send those to our email account. That's classyringattire@gmail.com. Let's see how full we can get this mail sack.
We are also on iTunes. Find us there. Click the subscribe button. You get new episodes automatically sent to you every week. You can give us a review of
5 stars.
Give us write a review of nice words.
We like nice words.
And it'd be wonderful for all involved.
And if you're listening to us on wrestling.insidepulse.com, leave us a comment on there. We'd love to hear from you. And while you're there, go ahead and check out all the other columns. Both me and Joel have columns coming out this week. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth on everything that happened at Money in the Bank. What you got coming this week?
I'm doing my emotional reactions to Mark Henry not winning and John Cena continuing to be our champion.
Fair enough.
So
we love emotional Joel.
Yep.
It got us the Sheamus rant.
Oh yeah, that one.
And it got us Pat.
Oh, Pat.
Who still hasn't responded.
Come on, Pat.
Come on. Pat or anyone else.
Or any Pat stand-in.
If you want to actually have some sort of defense, a logical defense for Sheamus.
Or illogical.
Or illogical. We don't care. Send those also to the email. That's classyringattire@gmail.com. We really want this debate to happen. So, do it.
Until next time, stay classy and huzzah.
Huzzah.